Tonight on Artiste Presents.
This project is making Mr. Green Potato Head, and thank you for supporting Raise the Roots.
What do you think about that? You want to plug it in?
So maybe you should talk to Miss Tansy Ellis. Tansy's a nurse, pediatric cardiology, and she created Mr. Green Potato Head, and she is also an active participant in this wonderful Raise the Roots project.
I work with the Dundee Community Garden, and for one of our events we needed to do fun things for kids. So my friend who has 13 grandchildren said, hey, I've got an idea. Do a Mr. Potato Head that grows real hair with grass seed. And she had me hooked. So I've done it once, and this is my second time, and it's always a hit. I love it. And I think these kids like it too.
I work for an organization called Bold, Nebraska, and we are helping organize farmers, ranchers, and tribal allies against the Keystone XL pipeline. There's a lot of folks who are concerned about this crossing the Ogallala Aquifer. It provides clean drinking water for millions of people, and also is crucial for Nebraska's agriculture. It also would cross the sandhills, and basically we also are against it because the tar sands, which would flow through Keystone XL, are one of the dirtiest fossil fuels on Earth. They're coming out of Canada. Lots of folks are getting cancer up where they are extracting it. Lots of folks are getting cancer down in the refineries down in Texas where they're refining it. And this would be an export pipeline. It would be all risk and no reward for our country. And so we're trying to protect our land and water and climate for future generations.
Hello, my name is Gus Von Rowan, and I am a committee member on the Raise the Roots committee, and we are reviving a local music, local food event and community event to bring in neighborhood partners and organizations so that they can learn off of each other, but also bring in the community so that they can become acquainted with each other. This event used to exist as the Hootenanny. Lori Tatro developed it in 2011 through 2012 and produced 11 different shows all by herself, bringing in local food organizations and other community organizations to partner in it. And it was an amazing movement. And when the last one occurred, because it was just too much for her to handle, I was very sad. And I took it upon myself to form a committee, a super team, as you will, of a lot of my good friends, but a lot of people that I know that can handle this type of project and would be very much inspired to do so. And this is our debut as the Raise the Roots, and it was a success. I think we have a lot of people that have shown up for the first time, but I see a lot of familiar faces as well. So I am very excited to see this kind of take off again. And instead of doing it every 2 months like Lori did, we're going to try to do it quarterly so that we have a pace that we can handle. My name is Gus Von Rowan again, and I have a permaculture consultant business. I'm a Douglas County, Nebraska Farmers Union president. You can reach me at vrpermaculture@gmail.com, and I am going to facilitate a lot of the coordination with the Raise the Roots committee. But in the future, we also have a Twitter account, which is #RaiseTheRoots, as well as a Facebook page, which is simply under the name Raise the Roots. We had a great event. I'd like to thank everybody that came out, and we look forward to see you the next time. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Albert Veras, and I'm a volunteer and board president of City Sprouts. City Sprouts is an urban farm and community garden located in North Omaha, and our goal at City Sprouts is to increase the amount of food that's available in the neighborhood that we serve, to provide young people with paid internships, and then to also better the health of the community. We do this, again, by providing internships where students are able to learn about careers and practice careers in agriculture, culinary, public health, and education. And we increase the amount of fresh food that's grown in the neighborhood, and then make it available through our farmers market, which is every Saturday from 10 to 12. Additionally, we have classes on site for young people who are able to come in and learn about plant science and biology and all sorts of different things in an interactive environment, which is our community garden that has 50 raised beds and feeds 50 families. And then also at our farm site, which is a little less than 2 acres worth of land, where the food there that's grown by the interns is then donated to local food pantries. To get in touch with us, you can find us online at omahasprouts.org. You can visit us on Facebook, and yeah, that's it. Come check us out. The best thing you can do is come on site, check out the farm, meet the animals, meet the people, and eat some of the good food.
Hi, I'm Nancy Williams, and I serve as a co-founder and the board president for No More Empty Pots. No More Empty Pots is a grassroots nonprofit organization, and we connect people and organizations around food. Our mission is to ensure that we develop economically resilient communities, and we help people become self-sufficient. And we use food as the tool to do that. We provide cooking demonstrations. We help people get community gardens started. We connect them with resources in the community. We are working with Holy Name Housing and Heartland Family Service and developing their intergenerational gardens at their North Omaha intergenerational campus. They harvested 6 bushels of vegetables and herbs in the past week. They are so excited. And one of our new initiatives is a food hub. A food hub where we will aggregate, process food, and we will engage people around food, help incubate and accelerate food businesses, and we will have a roof garden where we can celebrate that food as well. Folks can come in and get training in the production kitchen, and they can rent the shared commercial kitchen by the hour to help build that self-sufficiency and sustainability. Our values are education, stewardship, and sustainability, and we could certainly use your help in the community to help build a food hub as we build community. My email address is helper, H-E-L-P as in Paul, E-R, at nomoreemptypots.org. That's NOMOREEMPTYPOTS.org. My phone number is 402-320-5349.
Hello, I'm Bev Traub with the League of Women Voters, and we are here this evening to help register those who want to register to vote in this election, and also to allow people to pick up information that will help them be informed voters. The basic purpose of the League of Women Voters is to encourage people to be active in the democratic process. And so we are here this evening to help people do that. You can contact the League of Women Voters at lwv.org and get all sorts of information. We love to have people join us and help us with our mission, which is to encourage people to vote and to be active in the democratic process.
Okay.
Well, let me talk a little bit about what the Sierra Club does. And one of the things that we do that I think is most important is we work with empowering people. And most of empowering people isn't really about anything specifically other than helping people understand that they have power and that they can influence the way that things happen, and that their own thoughts, their own feelings their own perceptions do matter, and the main thing that they need to do is to be involved and to show up. And so we support that in lots of different ways. One of the ways that we do that is we also work on things like we work with the legislature, and we also we provide expert assistance for people, and we work on lots of different levels. One of the things that we do is we work with the Nebraska legislature, and we work to get legislation passed or to oppose bad legislation. We also support litigation. We support people's rights against the power of corporations. Most of the idea that corporations have rights seems pretty bizarre to me, but and actually it's one of those things that we have to be fighting against. But let me just talk about a couple of things that we've been involved with. One of the areas is the Keystone XL pipeline. And thanks to the fact that people and organizations have worked together and gotten involved, the Keystone Pipeline, I remember when I first got involved back in 2010, they told us it was going to be built before the end of the year. Well, here it is, October 2014, it still hasn't been built, and I'm hoping that it never gets built. Thank you, and it won't, as long as we all stay involved. And one of the key things that we did in that fight was the Sierra Club led the effort to get a special session of the legislature, and we were successful in that. One of the other things we did was we wrote a piece of legislation that has the Public Service Commission make the decision about the pipeline route, and that is actually the constitutional method of routing pipelines, as opposed to the one that was passed the next session. And there, the next session, the legislature passed a bill, LB 1161, and the Nebraska Sierra Club opposed that. We were also the first organization to get up and say that this was unconstitutional, and then it was challenged in court. We supported that lawsuit, and the District Court of Lancaster County agreed with us and found that it was unconstitutional. The case is currently on appeal, and because of the fact that it's on appeal, the State Department has decided to delay the opinion. So things that have happened in Nebraska have had a great impact in this, and it's because of people on all sorts of levels getting involved. One of the other areas where we also work is in opposing bad things is we also try to get, we support renewable energy and we oppose dirty fossil fuel energy. And in Omaha, we were very fortunate to get a decision from the Omaha Public Power District to create a new energy plan where they're going to get a third of their energy from renewable sources, and they're going to shut down a coal plant. And I'd like to recognize Graham Jordison, who's over at the Sierra Club table, who was our organizer and played a major role in that. Yeah. And he can also tell you about kayaking in the Mississippi if you want to ask him about that, because he just did that this summer. So, so there's lots of different areas where we've been involved. One of the other areas, we supported legislation that led to the creation of a climate report that was put out by the UNL climate scientists. And I have a copy of it in my hand. You can get them, you can download them from the UNL's website. But the main thing is it says climate change is going to have major impacts on the state of Nebraska, and we need to take action. So basically what I'm talking about is just to say that we all can make a difference, and each of us in our own way can make a difference. And I'm very proud to be part of the Sierra Club. I'm very proud to be part of this event here today. And I'm also proud to be able to introduce our main speaker today. His name is Ben Gottschall, and he's with Bold, Nebraska. And let me just tell you a little story that he reminded me of earlier today. When I first met Ben, we were going to do a press conference in the Capitol. It was November of 2010, about 4 years ago. And we'd never met each other, but we were going to do this press conference. And I think there was one television camera there and one print media person there. And we did the press conference. We weren't sure what kind of impact it would have, but it ended up being some stories that were done about the pipeline fight. And then as he reminded me, because of the fact that people stood together, because of the fact that organizations like Bold, Nebraska and the Sierra Club and the Farmers Union and League of Women Voters and Wildlife Federation, all these organizations stood up and fought the pipeline. A year later, we were in the same rotunda, and the rotunda was filled with people. and the legislature had just passed legislation that would regulate the pipeline. So it just shows what we can do when we get together. And I guess I wanted to say just a couple things about Ben. Ben's generally a pretty quiet guy. He doesn't talk very loudly, and sometimes he doesn't say anything at all. But when he does speak, he says things that make a lot of sense and that people pay attention to. I'd like to introduce Ben Gottschall.
I'm going to start out with an invocation of not the prayer type, but of the poetry type, because I like poetry and I think it's important. This is a poem called To Be of Use. It's by a woman named Marge Piercy. The people I love the best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shallows, and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who stand in the line and haul in their places, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. So I am the Energy and Local Food Director for Bold, Nebraska. Bold, Nebraska, as Ken mentioned, has been one of the organizations in Nebraska that has been very outspoken about stopping the Keystone XL pipeline, and I've been working for them since 2011 and with them since 2010. And we've been trying to get a lot of things done. We've had our hands in quite a bit. How many of you were able to make it up to the Tanderup Farm in Neely to the Harvest the Hope concert last weekend? That was a pretty good time. It was pretty crazy for the folks, and the folks that run the waiting room, or some of the people that work here, were involved in the production of that, and they did a really good job. They were very on top of things, and they helped out a lot. So I want to go back to the poem that I read, To Be of Use. I think that that should be the number one goal of any organization, and the people involved with that organization is to be of use. And so as you stop and talk to these people at these booths tonight, pay attention to the things that they're doing, and pay attention to the vision and the mission that they're on, because everyone in here that's working to build this community of local food, of a clean environment, of safe communities, and useful things for people in these communities to do, and useful things for children to learn. These people are doing the right thing. And so at Bold, Nebraska, we are always trying to figure out how we can be of use, and how to harness the power and the talents of the people in the communities where we're working. So for example, Art had a cornfield. Art has tractors. He teamed up with an artist named John Quigley to create the world's largest crop art in an 80-acre cornfield on his property, and you may have seen photos of that. Another example would be in York County, Nebraska. In the path of the pipeline, we built a barn that is powered by solar and wind energy. And so that is a useful thing. We hope that it will be useful not only in stopping the pipeline and bringing awareness to that issue, but also in actually generating clean, renewable energy for our state, which I update the website every week or every month with our recent generation stats. Local food is something that Bold, Nebraska definitely cares about. We're trying to do more with that. Obviously, the pipeline stopping work takes a lot of our time, but we definitely care very much about local agriculture, local food, all the things that a lot of the people in this room are working hard towards. And we're happy to partner with anyone who shares that goal and shares that vision of having a Nebraska where the people who grow our food are our friends and our neighbors, and the money that comes into our agricultural economy from that stays in the community, because it's all local food, it's all local producers, and we can build a stronger state through the thing that we do every day, which is eat. And so you've often heard the term that you vote with your food dollar, and that's true. And as a local food producer, I appreciate, when people come to me and purchase my products because they believe in local. You also vote with your vote. I mean, you can vote with your dollar, that's great, and us, we local food producers love that, but there are some great candidates this year, and that's another thing that Bold, Nebraska is trying to promote. Is we've got our new energy voter guide that just went online, a couple days ago, was that right, Mark? Yep. And it's anyvoter.org, I believe, right? Yep. So check that website out. We've got candidate profiles. We've got information on the folks that are running to be your elected representatives and why we think you should vote for them, and not least of which is their stance on agriculture and their stances on the Keystone Pipeline, and whether or not we will have clean water to drink and to use to grow food going into the future. And before I do that, I just want to recognize Gus Von Rowan also. He's done a great job. He's a friend of mine. I consider him a friend. He's someone I've gotten to know recently. He's done a great job with building the Douglas County Farmers Union organization into a very viable county organization that we in Lancaster County are happy to work with, and are sometimes jealous of some of the things that they're able to get done. So thanks, Gus, for having all this and having me here. So.
The Dundee Community Garden was founded in 2009, 5 years ago, by a group of people who really wanted to see a community garden in the Dundee neighborhood. We have 41 members, and all the members can grow their own produce. So some of the great things about community gardens are you can grow lots of fresh produce, so you save a lot of money from what you would be spending at the store, but also you're eating a lot more fresh vegetables and organic produce because you're bringing home bags of greens in the spring, bags of tomatoes in the summer. You can grow a lot of food in 1 4-foot by 10-foot plot. And we also donate a lot of our produce to others. We donate about 10% of our garden produce. Right now most of it goes right across the street to the Underwood Tower, which is a Omaha Housing Authority apartment building. So we've donated well over 3,000 pounds of produce in the 5 years that we've been going. In fact, at this point we've donated probably 3,500 pounds, because just yesterday we donated about 500 pounds of sweet potatoes to the Omaha Housing Authority, the Underwood Tower. We harvest sweet potatoes every year, and yesterday we harvested over 1,000 pounds of sweet potatoes and donated half of those. Okay, for more information about the garden, you can contact us online. You can send an email to info@dundeegarden.org, or we also have a website on dundeegarden.org. So please contact us if you're interested. If you want to plot at our garden or want to find out about other gardens in the neighborhood, we'd be glad to hear from you. Thank you.
We'd like to thank our partners of the day. They are Dundee Community Garden, No More Empty Pots, League of Women Voters, Bold, Nebraska, City Sprouts, Sierra Club, Baxter's, and the Nebraska Farmers Union.
Yeah, let's give it up for those guys. Raise the roots for them. We would also like to thank our two musical guests. Thank you so much, Clarence Tilden and Mr. Dan McCarthy, for playing for us. We really appreciate it. We loved you. Let's give them some love. And like we said, this is the first Raise the Roots event. There are many to come to encourage local food, local music, local community, sustainability. We want you out there. We want you involved. Again, I think a lot of these vendors are going to be hanging out for a little bit longer if you need to talk to them. If you haven't talked to them before, if you're feeling a little less shy, it's the time now. And of course, all the Raise the Roots volunteers are here as well. We also want to give a shout out again to ourselves, no big deal. If you like what you see, if you're having a good time, if you want to know what the next event is, friend us on Facebook, just like Raise the Roots Omaha. We're also on Twitter at Raise the Roots. And if you want to join our email list to find out about all of the things that are happening very soon, if you head to that table that's kind of right by the exit, by the pool table, the caddy corner, you can sign yourself up, and we'd be more than happy to give you all of the information you want. Cass, do you have anything else? I do. You do?
I would also like to thank Jim and Mark and the waiting room staff. They did an excellent job of hosting us. We love this venue, and we want to do it again in the future. Lastly, I need to acknowledge the committee that shared Lori's vision with us. And first of all, I gotta talk to the mic. Madeline Wall, Jessica Stutzman, Kirsten Kova, Allie Peeler, Caitlin Little, Patrick Firstenow, Pat Oakes, and Ken Winston.
Again, thank you also to our special speaker, Ben Gottschall, for coming out, sharing his wisdom and his divine poetry speaking with us. We also want to thank again our biggest sponsor, Medical Solutions. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Way to Go. Thank all of you for coming out and being our friends. Come out next time. It's always kid-friendly. It's always fun. We want to bring music and food and community together, and we're so happy to be here. So thank you guys so much. Be safe.